If you're listening to this episode, I bet you're wondering what behaviors you're doing that keep you from getting your needs met and ending up in situationship after situationship. I got you. I've created a situationship quiz and I'm so excited about it. Take the quiz to discover more behaviors and more tips for navigating situationships, because I know you're in more than one right now. No judgment, boo-boo. I used to have 5 situationships at a time. Yes. So you're not alone. You can find the quiz at www.dontea.co/quiz. That's DONTEA.co/quiz. I'll drop it in the show notes as well. Okay, back to the episode.
To decenter such a focal point, we need to lessen it. We need to change perspective, right? Does that make sense? So to decenter means not making that the apple of your eye anymore. Hey loves, my name is Dontea and I'm your fave self-worth therapist and coach. And this is my show, Situationship. This show is about getting out of toxic situationships that go beyond partners to family and friends and everything in between, to living a life of joy and self-worth. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome back, loves. So as you can tell from the title, today we are jumping right into something that I think a lot of us deal with, to be honest. I know I'm in this crowd, so no judgment here. I believe that this topic, this idea of decentering relationships or decentering romance, if you will, has been around for many moons, right? However, as of recently, I've seen this get kicked up again on social media, which I love because it's one of those things that I don't think is really talked about enough in a direct way like that. Like, I can't see myself saying to a client, I have, but if this was like earlier on in my career, I couldn't see myself saying to a client, okay, I need you to decenter romance in your life. That would feel like really too harsh. However, there was a recent episode on Therapy for Black Girls podcast with the title Decentering Romance. And so I saw that, and I saw other posts online and in the books I'm reading, right? It just keeps circling back around to this. So I thought, let me add my voice to this mix as well. So when it comes to decentering romance, let's break that up. Okay. So like, first, decentering, my own definition is to lessen, if not remove, that focal point. So if your focal point is must be married, must be in a long-term relationship, must be partnered today, immediately, and that is like the apple of your eye, that is your center, that is your focal point. To decenter such a focal point, we need to lessen it. We need to change perspective, right? Does that make sense? So to decenter means not making that the apple of your eye anymore. Now, I say that also knowing this is a both and. I'll use myself as an example. I want a long-term relationship that goes 10 years, 11 years strong, and whatever else comes from that. And I also don't want to be the same obsessive person that I've been in the past with, my whole meaning, my whole reason for waking up every day is to, maybe today's the day I'm going to get partnered. Not like maybe today's the day I'm going to find happiness within my work. Maybe today's the day I'm going to decide to move to Spain, or have that job or get that raise, or, whatever. Does that make sense? Like, there's more to life. There's going to be more to life. Yeah. There's got to be more to life than just existing for a relationship's sake, for romance sake. Right. So again, both and. Do we want the romance? Absolutely. Do we want the long-term relationship? Absolutely. Do we want the marriage? And for you who want kids? Absolutely. Do we want the house? Absolutely. Right. I get that. And when we make one thing the center of our focus, our attention, again, the apple of your eye, whether that's weight loss or getting a house, whatever, it has its drawbacks, right? It's the only thing you're focusing on. There's not room for really anything else. We can easily become hypersensitive, hyper aware. So to try to manage that, and this comes up with my clients a lot too, to try to manage that, there's a few things that we can do where it's not so consuming. So again, I don't think I'll ever say, I don't want you to focus on having the relationship of your dreams. Like, absolutely, I want that for you. Boo boo. I'm also saying when we make any one thing the center of our focus, it's going to have its drawbacks. When it comes to making romance 80% of your attention, let's say the remaining 20% is friends and feeding yourself and maybe travel. That says a lot. What does that look like if I'm just focusing on relationships? Well, if there was a camera following me around, especially in my 20s, you would see what that looks like. That would look like a young girl or a young woman who ignored friends' phone calls, who ignored calls to join a sorority because I wanted to keep laying around with my boyfriend. When I say it out loud now, it's like, girl, why? That was my focus. My priority was to be partnered, and anything outside of like academics, and even actually academics took a hit too. I think my last year in college, if it really didn't compete with being with that person, it was pushed to the back, basically. Right. And I know I'm not alone. Don't leave me out here alone. No, not alone with that. So again, there are a few things that we can do to help manage this. So I'm going to go over 3 points here, and I've made some notes because I want to stay on track. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see me like look to my notes, and that is okay.
If you're listening to this episode, I bet you're wondering what behaviors you're doing that keep you from getting your needs met and ending up in situationship after situationship. I got you. I've created a situationship quiz and I'm so excited about it. Take the quiz to discover more behaviors and more tips for navigating situationships, because I know you're in more than one right now. No judgment, boo-boo. I used to have 5 situationships at a time. Yes. So you're not alone. You can find the quiz at www.dontea.co/quiz. That's DONTEA.co/quiz. I'll drop it in the show notes as well. Okay, back to the episode.
Number 1, we want to prioritize self-exploration over romantic validation. Oh, that reminds me. I didn't go back to romance. I didn't break that down. So, or did I? I can't remember. I'm going to do it again. And if I did, then my editor can cut it out. So to break down romance, for me, romance is courtship. For me, romance is handholding. For me, romance is intimacy, sexual intimacy, having secrets, talking about family, maybe some trauma bonding in there, validation. Romance is experiences, adventure. Romance is like those moments in movies where it looks real bleak for the couple and they got lost and their car broke down and it's raining and it's about to get dark and they just look at each other and they're like, we'll get through this. I love you. I love you too. Or, like that kind of moment. Like that's romance to me too. Romance is also what we've read about. Someone goes to Paris and they have all these love affairs and life's great and look at this and everything's beautiful and warm and all the colors, right? Like romance, however you want to describe romance. So decentering romance. Okay. Did the first task. Okay. So going back to the tips. So again, number 1, prioritizing self-exploration over romantic validation. What I mean by this is how we make romance, and I'm using this interchangeably with like a committed relationship, to get out of a situationship into like an actual relationship where everybody knows what the fuck's going on and agrees to it. To prioritize self-exploration over romantic validation is to put yourself a little bit more first than just hyper focusing on romance, right? Again, like I said before, not making it the focal point, focusing on self-discovery, focusing on personal growth, focusing on personal growth. I'll say it again. Hey, listen, this is for me too. Allowing relationships to enhance rather than define. Let it define your identity, right? So a lot of times, I don't think we're really aware of when we do this. When we make the chase, the focus of being in a relationship, like just the thing that our life is for, that becomes our identity, right? Just like how Europeans will say you can tell an American because one of the first things they ask you, like they would ask a European, is what do you do, right? What do you do for work? Because in our society, what we do for work is our identity. I'm a therapist. My name is Antea and I'm a therapist. Not just, oh, my name's Antea. I love cocktails. I love TV. I love baking. I like cupcakes, right? I love to laugh. No, my name is Antea. I'm a therapist. I'm a therapist. I'm a coach, podcaster, all the things, whatever. Same thing can be said about romance when we make it the center of our being. If I'm single, what does that say about my identity? I'm lame, can't get a date, no one wants me, I'm not attractive, I keep fucking up, a spinster, whatever comes up for you. So to not make it your identity, bring in other parts of yourself, discover yourself. So here's an example. I found myself having a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit more time in my schedule. So I'm making some changes. I think I mentioned it before. I got to make some changes in my life so I don't just totally sizzle out. And with me making some changes in my schedule, I'm like, ooh, I feel like I have a little bit more energy to do something. Now I'm thinking about joining this meetup group to keep practicing my Spanish because I miss speaking the language. And I was pretty rusty when I went to Mexico in February. So I'm thinking like maybe I could join, a group and we can speak Spanish to each other and all that other good stuff, right? Like instead of me being like, okay, well, I got a free Friday. Let me go on a date, or, you know what I mean? Like just really focusing on like all my free time, everything about my life has to be around dating. Also something to think about, like, if I don't want to just focus my whole identity around with whether I'm partnered or not, then what are the things that I can say about myself or other conversations I can bring into friends or groups or family? Because it's so easy that we can talk about relationships, which I get it. I have a whole podcast talking about relationships. I love talking about relationships. I'm not out here judging you. I'm saying when we get together, does the entire get together needs to be about relationships? Can we talk about painting or something? Can we talk about what it actually is like to live overseas and what that visa procedure is, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. I hope this makes sense. Like really embracing the freedom of being single. What are all the things you can do when you're single, right? What are the things that you're into? Focus on that as well as focusing on wanting to be in a relationship. Right? Honoring your personal values. A lot of times, maybe you're not like me, a lot of times, again, in college, and I always mention college because that was a time that was very clear as day to me because, oh my God, one day I'll just tell all the stories. There were so many things that I did that basically said, fuck everything else if you're not my man or the man I'm trying to go after, right? Like, so many times. However, if you are anything like me, when you get in a relationship, it's really easy to drop all of your rituals you have for yourself, your routine, your personal values. So an example, say you always go to a workout class on Fridays. It's an hour long, it's from 4 to 5 on Fridays. And now that you're in a relationship, you don't go to that class anymore because you want to spend as much time as you can with your man, right? Just totally dropping that personal value. And so to hold the both and of it all, I want you to be thinking about what would it be like to hold on to my own self-exploration, my own personal values of going to this class every Friday from 4 to 5. And after that, spending time with my man. After that, going on that day or whatever, right? Like listen, I'm excited for you. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay. This is a complex thing when it comes to dating and getting relationships and also healing and working on yourself. And I believe it's possible. Okay. So let's go on to number 2, because I spent a lot of time on that first topic tip. So I feel like I'm on a roll here. All right. So the second one is embracing the journey, right? And letting go of perfection. This is really challenging. And again, a lot of this speaks for myself as well, because I am a recovering perfectionist. So the idea that it's okay to want a fulfilling relationship while also embracing the messiness of dating, right? When you embrace the journey and you let go of perfection, it's going to push up against those voices in your mind when you're meeting a new person. And the first thing you want to do is be like, what's your bank account? Do you have a savings? Do you have a car? What's your career goals? How much money do you want to make? How many houses do you want to have? Do you want to have kids? Like just going down the list, right? Just going down the list. Already matched, can't provide for me, can't take care of me. I need to know right now because I'm going to waste my time. Right? Because let's be real. Perfectionism is also a form of avoidance, and it's also a form of control. And it's also a form of anxiety. Yes, I said it. So when we are focusing on all the things I just mentioned, the list, we're being controlling. And for good reason, right? Especially as Black women, we've been through a lot. A lot of us are just providing for ourselves. A lot of us are providing for ourselves and our family. So a lot of that energy that we bring when we go on a date with someone, we want to make sure, like, are we aligned? Can you take care of me? All that kind of stuff. I don't want to be alone taking care of us. That comes from a place. And so this is going to be a challenge. Like, what would it be like to meet someone and really just experience them? Right? Like, to legit just experience them. What would it be like to meet someone? You notice their dress, you notice their tone, you notice the words they use, you notice how they enter a room, you notice how they treat you, you notice how you feel, you notice what it's been like 3 weeks later, and we haven't spent 20 minutes with me reading my list of questions I need to make sure that I need to know that you can be here for me. Right? I really want to keep having this conversation. So if at any point you have a question for me or anything like that, like, hit me up or leave a review with your question or whatever, however you want to contact me, you know the ways to contact me. And if you don't, Instagram at Soirees in Therapy, that's the easiest way. I really want to keep talking about this because I feel like what I'm saying is challenging. And also I believe that it can be very freeing, right? So when we are just about the journey and not necessarily focusing on, can this person, do they want to make $100,000? There's so much more that we're missing. And I believe you could do both. I really believe that you can find a way to let go of the pressure of finding the one and instead focus on the experiences. Like, again, being courted, making choices that feel right in the moment. Right. So if you meet this guy and he's like hella hot and you're like, ooh, I want to have sex with him, which I've been there. I think actually I talked about that in a podcast. I talked about that in a recent post. I was talking about my worst situationship story, one of my worst. And I met this guy and I was like, I'm going to fuck him. Like, I'm going to do that. Like, that's what's going to happen. So if you meet someone and you want to have sex with them the first night, but you're thinking like, oh, well, dating coaches says, don't do that. Or my friend said, don't do that. My mom said, don't do that. I'm like, hey, if you'll be still proud of yourself the next day, then go for it. If like, if you're anything like me having sex the first night, I get too much in my head. I'm not focusing. The relationship moves lightning fast, deeply, because I need to make sure I'm secure here, right? Like, it's so just knowing yourself. However, making the choices that feel right to you in the moment, period. Learning from the encounters. Oh, that was fun. That date wasn't fun. Oh, I appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. And just letting that be your guiding light. This will give you self-compassion, which we all desperately need for ourselves, and resilience, right? And like validation of self. Like, it's okay to be messy and not know all the things, because I believe that you know what you want for sure. I also just think that sometimes we can get really stuck in I have to know all the things right now today, first date. Okay. And then lastly, the third one is balancing desire with our self-worth, right? This one gets me really excited because this is what I did. If I'm being more transparent, this is what I did from like 2019 to 2021, about that time, where I really just tapped into a lot of desires that I had tucked away that were starting to come out, and I started to do it. And I mean, and those desires range from, what are those called? Lash extensions, all the way to like going to a sex club. Well, they call it a lifestyle club, to traveling by myself to places that I never thought I would go by myself, right? Like balancing desire with self-worth. So exploring the duality, right? The both and of wanting a dream relationship while staying grounded in self-worth, right? We can pursue meaningful connections without compromising our values, without losing ourselves, right? So ways to navigate this balance, and because I want you to live your life and also have more moments where you can look in the mirror and be like, I'm so proud of myself, right? Where you also have moments when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, ooh, girl, what were you thinking, right? Like I had a moment earlier today. I was like, I cannot believe I went to this community event and I didn't wear a bra. Like, and sometimes, a lot of times I don't actually like to wear a bra, but this shirt that I'm actually wearing right now, to wear it without a bra, oh my God. Thinking back to that, I'm so embarrassed. I hope I never see those people again. Anyways. So yeah, like how to navigate and balance this while also pursuing your desires. That could look like, I really want to travel with my boyfriend, right? That's one thing. I really want to travel with my boyfriend. That's a desire I have. But I don't feel like I can go to Turks and Caicos because that's a place I've always pictured myself going with my man, right? Or that's a place where there's a lot of couples there, right? My challenge to you would be, how about you go to Turks and Caicos by yourself and be open to meeting people, right? Not walking around with your head down, shame, I'm on myself, I'm alone, having your chin up. Just lifting your chin up brings in confidence. Try it. Smiling back at men you find attractive, saying hello to men you find attractive, right? Really encouraging yourself, like, I can do this. It's okay that I'm by myself, right? Maybe you think going to Turks and Caicos, I hope I'm saying it right, is too scared to go by yourself. Okay, well then go dial it back. Go to Vegas. Shit, I go to Vegas all the time by myself. I love Vegas. You can do it. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. I would not mind continue talking about this. So if you have any questions, send them my way. You got this. I believe in you. We're going to get through this. We can have both our own desires met, romance, and also focusing on other things. Okay. Until next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show, loves. This show was produced by Mackenzie Mazzell and me, Dantea. If you got a question you'd like me to answer, which I know you do, please send it to dantea@soireesintherapy.com. That's SOIREES for soirees. When you do that, the answer might just become an episode, and I would love to keep talking about your question. Want to work with me? The link is in the show notes. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next episode. Okay.